Hey, good morning, folks. Day 3. We actually got here just before Amy got here. We're in the sanctuary right now, and the plan is I need to take down the PTZ because it was mounted the wrong way. That was done before I was here. But we're going to do 2 turrets on the front of the audio booth. That's going to be for each side of the sanctuary, and then going to do 2 bullet cameras in the front. And right now we're going to run, because we don't have the fiber optic, but Pastor Felicia wants to run cables up under here. So while this is exposed, going to run 2 Ethernet cables, and we're going to go get some RG6. So there'll be SDI lines here since we can't do the fiber optic HDMI. One run right here for 1 camera on the exact opposite side for the same thing. Then run another Ethernet cable that will be tacked all the way down here for the security cameras that are going to go in the front on either side. And now that I think about it, might run 2 RG6s that way because they have projectors, so that we can actually loop the projectors up to go up there to reach that side. I don't know yet, but we're going to just run the cables here for right now, and then do that, and then at least can put the framing of these bullet cameras, and that will work for either side. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And then we've already started hooking up the ultras and getting those acclimated and adopted into the system. Ended up going to Micro Center yesterday, catching up with Bishop Daniel. They only had 1 extra 8 terabyte drive, so I put that in there. So that's running RAID 10 in the NVR. When we come back, those are actually going to be replaced. It's because originally they weren't in stock. It was going to be 4 12 terabyte drives, so that would cover more than enough of all the cameras. But that's what we're going to do. I think Mike is going to grab the ladder. We're going to take that camera down, the PTZ down, because y'all know me. I didn't mount it. I always put mine upside down so we can have more range of motion. But going to switch that around, pull that stuff down, mount this. We got everything hooked up to the switch, so we can take the switch down so that Amy can use the system, and we can move the 16-port switch into the audio booth and replace the Cisco and hook up everything there. So that's what we're going to focus on. All right, folks, so been working pretty hard. Got notification that a lot of the stuff was delivered over here at the museum, so that's where we're heading over right now. The sound system, there was a little mix-up, so they kind of pushed the package away, but it's going to be redelivered here tomorrow. But going to put the rack up, hook everything up. Tomorrow, all I got to do is just take the sound system, plug it in, plug in the snake, and we're done. So hopefully this should just take just a little bit, and then we'll be done. And then head back over to church. Alrighty, so this is the existing system that they had. Just a 6-channel, a couple of wireless mics, and then the outlet. Now, do y'all remember that? I remember growing up in high school and middle school, everybody had one of these. But anyway, that don't work. So we're going to disconnect that, mount the rack, like I said, here, move everything. If it's XLR, connect it to here, put the other Phoenix Pro mics that I use, put them inside of here, and that's it. Really straightforward. All right, so we're all done. Everything is in place. Kind of just gave them a tutorial on what needs to be done. Isn't really no different than what they had. Showed them that the mics that we put in there are better than the ones that they had, and we have stuff set aside. So we have the snake just here temporarily, and that's not really only going to be used except for they have events like when First United Methodist comes here. But yay, that's done. So now let's head back to the church and continue working. All right, so we're staying over a little bit extra today. Everybody's already gone. Just had some lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it. Over here, we've already cut open a hole here for the mat right there to fit in here. It's a little issue because of the steel girders on either side to the left and right to hold the railings of this. So probably going to need to put a hook in place to keep that in place. Open up a hole up there to fish down to get to these cables, but Mike is going to pull down the cameras that are still existing on the second floor and then try and test which line is which so we can identify them, because I don't think we're going to be using all of these, and only pull up the cables that are needed and then go from there. What I'm going to do is get the PVC pipe that was downstairs, start cutting that down to size so that it can fit downstairs, get the cables in the right place, and then probably tomorrow evening, or even today, it depends on how much we get done. Well, no, I'm gonna get the pipes to the right size, and then tomorrow we're gonna test out the hammer drill, or today test out the hammer drill that I think Dwayne has in his tool shed. See if that can get us all the way through. If not, then go to Home Depot, Lowe's, rent the hammer drill to the right size. To the right power, punch through, and then the PVC pipe, if we get all the cables ran, just tack it to the wall, and then we're done. And I'm pacing back and forth because I forgot to get this marker and my tape measure so that I can measure off everything so I can cut the pipe to the right size. All right, so let's head downstairs. Alrighty, we got the main pipe, which is gonna go into the hole up there. I need these aren't like the PVC that I normally have that would be flanged at the end that they can connect. So what I need to do is get a coupler to connect both of these pipes together. We come around, and after that angle right here, I'm literally, let me show you. I had these two so that I can curve here, but it's too tight. So like when this pipe gets here, you see how much room I have right here. So I'm gonna probably have to get a right angle and cut a tiny piece so I can make it into a coupler to make that angle in there. But the main thing is I am spent from trying to pull these cables in here. They got bent and all this other stuff. I need to re-terminate them, so at least the 4 Ethernet cables, because that's what's hooking up the telephone lines right now. After I do that, it's done for the day. Lord. But like I said, we're gonna come back with the hammer drill. That was really my intention, to see if the hammer drill in the tool shed would actually get me in there. But this took way more out of me than I thought. So like I said, we got the PVC cement. So those angles are set. This is gonna be set. I just gotta cut the end of this so that I get the right size. Anchor that into the wall right there, which will be straight. And then get that angle in there so we can be in there, then seal that up with some concrete so that that'll be fine. Maybe spray paint it, get into the bathroom, get all the stuff over there. So right now I literally just had to pull that so I can get the cables in that first part of the pipe. This is on the floor for right now with the intention of getting this done. I need to terminate those again, hook up the telephone lines, and then go home. Let's see what Mike has going on so far. Hey, good morning people, day 4. I am in a rush right now because all of a sudden I got a notification that literally everything went offline at the church. So I don't know if somebody messed with something, somebody clipped the cable. So rushing over there to do that. Meant to go get some other supplies, but this kind of takes priority because I have no idea what somebody may have done or what the situation is over here at the church. So I get over here, figure out what in the world is going on, and then pick up where we left off. Alright folks, haven't been recording that much. We had 5-alarm fire had to put out. I don't know what happened. Some of the networking got kind of messed up and took maybe about like 3 hours to reset everything, but I think we're good. The other stuff got delivered today. So because of the timing, have to kind of change priorities, but we did get the corner wedge. It's going to go here. Probably going to concentrate on the entrances. Well, maybe this entrance, because the other one got to figure out something with a magnet on how, because the way the door is arching. After we do that, how have me and Mike gonna work on. We did half of the pipe downstairs. Once everybody's gone, gonna extend that, cut everything else so that will fit, and we go from there. Yeah, it's right now trying to isolate and get some of the bare essentials done, because some of the stuff we're not gonna be able to do, but that's kind of the expectation. But that's why we haven't recorded for a while. It's almost noon, so we've been here for a minute. But anyway, let's get here and figure out that. Hey, good morning, folks. It is day 5. My apologies for not recording that much. Just stuff has been out of control, but we got it back into control. Yesterday, I don't know what happened, but a lot of the system got knocked off a line. It got misconfigured. It kind of lost itself, and pretty much all of yesterday morning was just factory resetting a lot of stuff, and stuff just got out of whack and things like that. So that took the majority of yesterday. But after that, we got the cables ran all the way through the piping downstairs, was able to get into the wall in the women's bathroom. Kind of got everything there, kind of left it in a temporary place, but all the cabling is off of the floor, which is great. We ran short on cable, so Mike was able to pull cable right above Amy's office, but it was about maybe 10 feet short. So what we're gonna do, head over to return the hammer drill to Home Depot, get some more cable, about another 500 feet of Cat 6, pull that stuff back, anchor the PVC pipe that's running all the cables downstairs into the wall. Then downstairs is done. The phone migration over to voice over IP is said to be completed on Monday. So we're gonna log in and help them with that. What else we got? Gonna start cleaning up and putting the door accesses everywhere. They won't be engaged with the magnetic locks or anything, but start to put that stuff in place to clean up everything. Do all the rest of the cameras, pull down all the old cameras, put all the new ones up that we're able to, and hopefully the fiber optic cable that was going downstairs that we pulled through the piping, for whatever reason, is not working now. So hopefully I don't have to pull a new fiber optic cable downstairs through the piping and everything. I mean, we're able to, don't want to, but we're able to. So a lot of cleanup, and I'll give you a tour of everything that has been going on. It's just my hands have been so busy. Mike's hands have been so busy, just really haven't had the time to run anything. Also, we did run 3 Ethernet cables on either side under the ceiling in the sanctuary, as well as, because we don't have the fiber optic cable, gonna run SDI cable, RG6, to where the camera on the left and the right are gonna be. I think that's it. Actually got the back door, got to get all that stuff working, because the switch downstairs is powering that. Ultimately, when I come back, we're going to put another 48 port switch, or maybe even a 24 downstairs. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. I'll give you a tour on everything that we've done so far. I'm just waiting for Mike to get some coffee, and then we're heading to the store, pick up a bunch of stuff, and then get back to work. All right, folks, so we've been buying a whole bunch of stuff to get a lot of the stuff knocked out. So like I said, we got these cables. These are going to need to be extended. These are going up to Amy's office, so that's what we got another box of cable for. Pretty much got everything in here hooked up. Got to do a couple of resets on these and get them set up. This is the cable modem left unplugged. I'm going to actually move that, because I am going to add an aggregation switch into this. Start filling up all the slots. And got to test what is going on with the internet cable that's going downstairs, which is this one. Got to see what's going on with that. I hope the cable's not damaged. If not, got to pull a new cable, go down through here. Let me turn you around. Like I said, Mike's got this cable's over here. We got the faux grate. Let me turn the lights on in here. The faux grate in here that we're gonna mount up, pull this down. And it was a 1 gang. I thought it was a 2 gang. shoot. All right, that was not in the plan. So I need to get another plate to cover that, so that's fine. That's fine. Not what I expected, but that's fine. Anyway, like I said, gonna start hooking up everything else, and I need to go test out downstairs. And it was actually 1 gang. I thought it was a 2 gang. So I'm gonna have to get a different plate to cover that. Gotta hang the rack on the other side and go through, but let's look downstairs and I can show you what I'm talking about. So hopefully this cable, I'm gonna identify the cable that's in the sanctuary, replace that, and actually let me do the sanctuary right now because I need to hook up the access point back up there. So in here, this is the switch. This will probably be mounted. I'm gonna put the access point back in here. All right, that'll be powered up. Need to identify, because those cables, the fiber optics are the one on the ground. There's a path to get a cable up here, but I have no idea how that is, but we'll revisit that. Mic hold cables. SDI cable and Ethernet cables right there. Let me turn this light on here. So up here, ran the cables here so that the camera will go right there on that side, and then the same thing flanking on the other side. Also ran Ethernet cable down here, which is for the other security camera that's going to be here in the front as well as on that side. If I go back this way, I need to finish this. But this is the door that I was able to have the security hooked up to. Once it's powered back up, we're able to patch that in and test the line to connect this to the electronic switch. Need to secure that here because that's what that cable goes to. Goes into the electronic strike. Switch out here, and we do that. Running back down here, need to move that ladder. This is the cable that I ran that I need to pop in the tiles. That's what feeds that intercom that we just showed you. That was to the old camera that's here. Ultimately, another one needs to go right there. I believe that cable's be able to use for that. As you can see, all the cables are up off the floor because we do have them inside of here. We got through the wall. Just got to refish those up there. And then in here, got to figure out what is going on. Here, I really hope this cable is not damaged. Yeah, I might have to pull another one. I didn't want to do that, but might have to. May I get a signal? But we'll test that, and like I said, all of this is going to go away. A 48 port switch will replace this, gut all of this stuff because I have no idea what any of this is. But these are all the other jacks that are throughout the church, and it'll be better just to use this, just put one rack here, nothing else is down here for that. I need to log into the server back here because they had that set to some type of dynamic, static IP address on the old system. Need to change that out before I leave. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Down here, like I said, we got the cables in here through the pipe. In here, we didn't put this last piece in, so that's going to come across, anchor that in. We have some concrete to seal that up, then it comes down and then it goes inside, and that leads into the women's bathroom. But like I said, might have to pull another fiber optic cable in here to get that through. So that's the main thing it's going to focus on. Focus on is running that that cable down there right now and get the network back up down here, which connects the front cameras and all this other stuff. Then move on to doing some other patch stuff throughout the other part of the building. All right, folks, haven't been doing a lot of recording, but got a lot of progress. Let me show you what's going on so far. Able to pull up all the fiber optic cables, so nothing is connected through that anymore. We do have, I've identified other cables, so everything is connected with cables in the wall. So you see nothing in the floor here. Mike got all of the cables ran through here. So I need to get a bigger plate because this tile fell down when he was doing that. So I'm probably going to put like a faux grate over top of that will cover that up. These are going to stick out here, so I need to get a 3U plate. The other ones that are terminated I pushed inside the wall. Probably going to test all the rest of these to see if any of these still need to be, could be used going to cameras, which is a possibility, but not for this trip. What else? So I need to hook this up. Got the other phones identified. This is for desk 2 that's going to sit over here. So I think there was a strip in the floor that got everything over here. Worst case, I might try and punch through in here at a later time to get this connected, so it'll be a jack. And it might be one of these jacks down here I could repurpose. It looks like that is a data one, so I might look at that and see where that's connected. Back here, I need to pull this fiber optic out of the ceiling because that's the one I had right there. That's not needed anymore. Possibly run this, just go into the copier, put a jack here somewhere, so that'll be easier. So we won't have that cable here. In here, slowly been cleaning up everything. We got all the cables ran down. I'm gonna cut that shorter so that I can sit in there because the hole wasn't wide enough to go in there. I have some conduit, cable wire conduit that I'll bring back when I'm here, and that will go flush down the wall right here in this corner. That will sit, actually no, it's going to go right in the center, and this whole thing is going to slide over, so it's flush with that. The phone system is actually going to be migrated Monday, so that's good. Going to migrate, I should be able to talk them through over getting the Comcast there, because all I got to do is put a coupler on the end that I have and connect it to that white cable there. So actually, what is this? This isn't the cable. What is this in the ceiling for? I can't remember what this is for. Anyway, all I got to do is unscrew that and screw that into the back of the modem, which is right there. I don't have any crimps to connect this, so I really don't remember what this cable was for. Oh well, put this over here for right now. I'll ball that up. Then at that point, all this is done. I have all the other cameras set up here. A couple of these need to be reset, so I'm gonna factory reset them and get them all named appropriately. But the bigger thing that was accomplished, let me take you down here on the little trip, and let's go the faster way down here. And I'll actually do this while I'm here too. So I have the other intercom set up out here, so that it is live, so that's there. But this is an old switch, and they ran the cable inside of the door, and this is not working, but I'm gonna test it again. I don't know if it's this, but I ran a temporary cable into a lock here, and that is working. So all of that is done. This is running up into a box upstairs, so that will be secure for the hub. Just got to test that, and then that will work. Possibly might have to pull the lock out of this door and somehow get this cable inside of here. I don't think the cable is the problem unless it pulled loose, but probably just going to re-terminate. Maybe this is the problem. So I'll leave a loop and then I'll search for another replacement for this, but should be able to be that. Hopefully that's it and we get that done. And then that lock is working. That's the east door, which they do use. The west door, the intercom is set up, is going to be set up, but we can't, I have to do some carpentry so that we can have the magnetic lock in place. This is the cable that's running to that intercom. Tomorrow, because that's a one-man job, I will put this cable in the ceiling and get that up out of the way, and then this is done. But the bigger thing that we have accomplished is all of the cables on the floor are gone because we got them in the ceiling. I got to pull up the slack in here, but all of them are running and terminated in there. As you can see, nothing is here. Got to get some spray paint, but we got the conduit there. I got some concrete to seal up that hole. I'll do that tomorrow. Probably gonna do something, make this a little nicer later. I might actually cut this off and put a box right there just to cover that up. But again, the cables are done. We got all that anchored in there, so yay. And like I said, I'll seal this up with some cements, patching cements there. If they really wanted to, could spray paint that. Not a big deal, but everything is working. All that's up out of the way. I will come here and vacuum up all this stuff from here. Bring this Dremel upstairs, bring my tape measure. And like I said, let's go this way because I can show you the other door that I was talking about. Very, very, very good progress. The doors are back online in the front. We'll test that out. But on this side, probably gonna put a magnetic lock on this door when we come back. I'm on the wrong side. We already did this side of the door. Hello. All right, sorry about that. I had to tell Maria, she's actually runs one of the youth groups upstairs, giving her the process of buzzing people in, and we have some of the cameras in place because sometimes the kids be acting up. So that's what some of the security doors are for, so that they don't keep the door propped open. If they do, we got video footage of who is the guilty party of leaving the door open and all the other stuff. And then I think there's some other groups that share the building as well. So a lot of stuff, but they are excited to make stuff a lot easier and managing and just bringing it, what we say, modernize, not necessarily just the media ministry, but just modernize this whole thing, the building and all that fun stuff. But what I'm gonna do now is I need to go check on Mike because we need to move over the rack mount on the left side. Then it's a couple of things. Don't need this because, like I said, I found the other one. This is probably going to go for another client that I actually called me while I was here. I'm going to put an access point and replace the one in their sanctuary. I got them a smaller one, but we're going to give them this bigger one because why not? Because I think they're building a new church and we might just unify them, because just like this, a couple of other churches like Christian Fellowship, they were told that they need multiple routers at their church, and they're paying for 3 ISPs, so we'll be able to consolidate that for them. But let's go check on Mike, see what's going on. That's hanging that rack, and then after that, we're gonna do just a little cleanup stuff. So clean up the hallway, put the door access ultra where we drilled the hole, put that on the side, patch up all the holes, maybe put some blank plates temporarily so that all that will cover up everything. I need to secure those cables for the front door around the door. I got that, but put the phone upstairs for Maria, calibrate that. This is what I said, we're gonna patch this up and get that out of the way. But that's it. Let's see what Mike got going on over here. Oh, he got the rack up, sweet. So we'll shorten the cables, run all of that stuff in there. That's what the extension cable is for, and we're good to go. Hey, good morning, folks. It is Saturday. It's pretty early. Mike is on the way to the airport. I am here back at the church doing some cleanup and trying to knock out as much stuff as possible, as well as clean up. I had a plan of being here tomorrow because my flight doesn't leave till 3 o'clock on Sunday, but we just had a bunch of adventures. I'm not going to show it, but we went and got something to eat, but my bridge fell out, so AJ's not going to be having a big smile until we get that fixed. But I ended up getting a bigger faux grate to cover up the hole and give an access point for the ceiling right here above Amy's desk. I'm going to get the ladder, move that over here. I am just in the process of cleaning up everything and putting aside everything as best as possible. I'm going to hang the cable that's in that back closet, the front closet for the front intercom. I'm going to do that, and then possibly see about another camera in the narthex, see if I can find a path for that. Clean up, put some cement in the hole downstairs, vacuum up the steps, see about figuring out what's going on with the electric strike out here, do some testing. I actually I set up and configured that door to ring to the east phone first, and then after 10 seconds then it rings to the other ones, because there's no point in somebody being here to run all the way onto the other side of the building to be able to unlock it. But I'm gonna work on that. And like I said, I'm just slowly going through and cleaning up all my stuff and setting stuff aside that I know will be beneficial when I come back, as well as set my tools aside so that I can pack them to take them back, because there's no point in me leaving all my tools here when I need stuff with a whole bunch of projects when I get home. Yeah, that's what I think. And then, like I said, I need to reset a bunch of these. I already marked them on. I have a index card here of the ones that I need to reset, factory reset. I'll do that, get all the cameras calibrated, add the last 4 doors here. I might not even need them, but actually I'm not going to calibrate them. I'll just leave them sealed up in the box, and then if we need them, I will do that when I come back for there. And like I said, just want to see how much I can get done. And it's not even 8 o'clock yet, so I'm gonna see how much I can get done so that hopefully maybe I can sleep in, and then head to the airport, head back home. Then first thing I got to do is St. James when I get back, Liberty Baptist Church, Mount Tabor, Gates of Faith, Antioch. So my hands are pretty full once I get back. But anyway, let's start cleaning up and then get to work. Alrighty, folks, I am spent. It has been one heck of a week. Let me take you on a tour on what we've done so far. Still a bunch of stuff left, but let me just take you on the grand tour of what we've done. So I'm going to start at the front of the church. Let's do that first. All right, so first coming through here, we have the intercom set up here, and I do have key fob here.
Welcome, Felicia.
So I am using Dr. LeBoy's right now. So that will get in here as long as the deadbolt is not on, but we got that on. Coming in, have a camera right here. That cable is a problem with that cable, so when I get back, we have to probably rerun one for that. But we got the door hub and all that stuff is in there. Let's go this way and make it around. All right, we have the east side first floor narthex camera there. And I'm gonna walk the long way to get back downstairs. east hallway camera right there. And coming back in here, might do something here, but they said nothing is a priority in here. Coming into the conference room, got the TV up. Server room, got the stuff kind of zip tied together until we get the tunnel there for that. We have the East Wing TV that's going to go upstairs, but talking with them about doing the wiring up there. They rent that part of the building out to someone else, and they have their own internet, but have some talks with them, maybe get them to not pay for that internet anymore, and then extend this stuff up there, and then the church will cover all of it and maybe give them their own access point or whatever. Got the rack up, got battery backup, got all the cameras and everything plugged in so they can be configured remotely. The outdoor cameras are still on. I do that on purpose so that everything is in sync. That is fine. And I'm working backwards here. If I can cut the lights out and the security camera up there in that corner, if you didn't see it. Door access, gonna fix the lock on this when we get back, but access into here. I already had this cable in the ceiling, but ended up putting the jack there for the copier, so that's nice and pretty. Access point that covers all the Wi-Fi all the way into the back conference room back there as well. Got Amy's desk and everything set up. Security camera going to the new stuff for her. Now be in rotation. We got all her other stuff hooked up. I'm probably going to come back tomorrow in the morning and just get a plate and then zip tie these cables and push them down so they can be pulled out if need be, but have that flush up against the wall there with a plate. I mean, I got it. I just need the cover plate to go over that. Got her new phone set up and testing the phones with that. Got the key fobs and the visitor cards for that. Desk number 2 up here. Got phone set up for here. Pastor Felicia's office is locked, but we got that set up for there as well too. So that's here. Now let me turn this light off. And let's turn the fan down. Alright, and we are working our way out. So all of this was done. Oh, also the other office here phone, we got that set up as well too. So if we decided to call, we got the directory set up. So let's call the East Wing because that's right next door. See, that phone's ringing there. So all that stuff is set up. So the phones are working. The phone porting over of the phone porting over from Comcast to Unifi voice over IP, that will take effect on Monday. So I'll remote in and help them with that. All right, so coming out this way, you get my tools. Make sure I get that, and cleaning up behind myself. Out here, we have our second intercom that we were able to get working, got the lock replaced and all that stuff. So out here, the same way, you come up here, that unlocks here, and there. And I will come back because I need to seal this up. They cut this out, but now that's locked. So this works as well too. All right, and let's go this way. All right, coming downstairs into the basement. We're gonna need to pull another cable for the security camera here. So if anybody comes down this way, need to cut that line. Down here, we do have Wi-Fi in the ceiling. We did that the last time we were here. So all down here is covered. And I'm gonna walk back that way. back here. I'm gonna need to put a security camera right there because that's the line that I use, but we're not that far from here. So the server room, the old server room, we've reconnected everything. Everything is moved upstairs. So what's gonna happen is all of this is gonna go away, and I'm gonna get another 48 port switch here. So these are all the other terminations to all the other rooms throughout the entire church. So pretty much I was saying put a 48 port switch here, just connect everything, and then that's good, because they have a whole bunch of other cables that were ran that bypass all of this, which is just confusing. So a 48 port switch, PoE switch, that'll be up here. That will now move this switch to a different location. That might be the one we move on that west wing if possible, but this is the other server that I had to get straight. Took that off of static IP, boom, we're good from here. So no more server room, just maybe just a rack for all the stuff that was be too costly to re-terminate and rerun all those cables in there. We got all the cables in the ceiling. That's the only place where you see the cables, right there, because it ran through. Let's turn these lights off while I'm working my way through. No cables on the floor. No ladder. We got that terminated there. I did put the concrete up there to patch that up. And then if need be, sand it down, paint it, whatever, grind it down, whatever. So all the cables are there. I thought that was a light switch up here. Oh well. So this area doesn't have Wi-Fi because they didn't say anything, but that's very easy to add if we need to, because the server room is right here, so we can just drop a cable down, put an access point here, not a problem. Alrighty, now let's make our way back on the west wing. I am tired, but we made a lot of progress. So on these steps, similarly, need to put a camera down here to catch anybody who's coming down here, and all the way 3 cameras, 1 for each floor, basement first and second, got to do that. Out here, oh, hold on, I got to go upstairs anyway. Let me show you down here in the kitchen. That phone's gonna go away because we got the Unifi kitchen phone down here, so that rings up the same way as well. So that's good. Once it cuts over, that'll be fine. We need to do a door access down here. That's just going to be a swipe, so that's going to be one of the ultras that sits out here. And we're going to have to probably, well, actually, I'm going to show you. We're probably going to have to change out this bar here. So we got to do that on another door, so I might have to just get 2 of these for electronic locks, but that's what we got. Doing some of the outdoor cameras. I think that camera is dead, but we're gonna replace that there as well. So that's 1 outside camera that we have to do, as well as the 8 that are gonna be on the roof. So that's 9 outside. Now coming back over this way, we are now on the west wing. In the same way, needs to be a camera down here. Now this is the other door where we're going to do an intercom, but both of these doors open, and they said they're going to start using these in September, so I might be back in September. But the issue is, I don't know where this cable is going. It went to here, but there's some other funky stuff in here, and it looks like they ran the cable inside the door somewhere. But because of this, need to get some different type of mechanism for here. And another intercom, the last intercom is going to go here. So I need to look up some different locking mechanisms for that. I'm going to go up to the 2nd floor and work my way back down. Again, I already have a cable right here, but the camera's gonna go right there. Then another camera up here. Now this is the West Wing where they rent this out to some other places, but we did have internet up here already. Another camera, 2 more cameras. One's gonna be looking at the door, one down the hallway, and that's where I said that 16 port switch may come over here. We replaced put a 48 downstairs. And a door access to the door I just came through. Camera right here, looking in this direction. Put another access ultra for this door. And then we're right in the narthex again. So a camera looking down from here. Sanctuary. In here. Now we pulled new cables inside of here. And as you can see, we got the 2 security cameras here, then another 2 are going to go in the front looking back this direction. Me and Mike pulled some Ethernet cable and SDI cable right here and across from here for the PTZs that are going to go here because we didn't have their fiber optic and we needed something to be more robust with this going on. Another Ethernet's going down here, so security camera is going to be looking back this way and that way, then the other one's looking in this direction. And I'm gonna go this way back to the east wing on the 2nd floor because I can't walk up because of the scaffolding. The other way. Like I said, up here, because of the scaffolding, you can't even see it. And I think the lights are off up here. Yeah, no electricity here, but let me get back so you can get some light. But anyway, it's scaffolding in the steps so you can't get air. So a camera the same way is going to look for anybody who comes up here. Door access here. This is the other wing I was talking about. Probably convinced them that this is covered by the other group that they're renting up here, but maybe put an access point up here so that all of the internet will be covered by the church, and that's one less expense that anybody's renting these spaces have to worry about because they ran their own Comcast stuff here. So the cables are good. I mean, they're brand new. We just tap into them and then boom, maybe put a switch up here, another 24, and then we're good to go. Segment out, have their own network, and that'll be good. And we're back to where the hub is in here for the other door. Now I did all that and I didn't show you the bottom floor, so it's good because I gotta close these doors anyway. Let me go this way. So like I said, in the sanctuary, camera's gonna go here and here for the front. Possibly do some TV stuff for a confidence monitor stage display. That'll be ran up under the floor here. We're back to the door I said we got to work on. And again, we have an access. So each floor, they'll have one of these access ultras. We just got to put the magnet on the door over here. Got the exit, that's going to be connected. That stuff is going to be fished through. All of these are going to be fished through to there. There's the intercom, like I said, that's going to go out here. Got our 2 cameras. This is the same way each floor is going to be. Looking at the door, looking down the hallway. So we got that done here. And we're in the west wing, 1st floor. All right, got an access point down here that covers everything that's on this side. Head over to the parlor. Got the phone for here. Got the rack over there for that. So that's why I was saying all the other jacks over here will be able to connect to them. So if need be, personally, I think you probably need to do that just to make it easy because there's a bunch of jacks in all of these rooms that I know that could be used. And this is like the kids' room. I know there was one over here that I saw. Bathrooms over here. Yeah, so some jacks like this, they're already ran, so might as well connect them to the switch. That's why we're going to put a 48 port downstairs. All right, coming back this way. Similar security camera, just looking here. Door access, ultra right there. Magnetic lock, gonna be on this door. This camera is the one that's gonna drill through and go on the other side of this wall. So I think I'm probably gonna grab this so it's not on the floor. And I will label this to know which one this is. This is northeast west. So the camera that's going to be here will be, see if anybody comes in, another one will go downstairs. That camera that's right there will see anybody that walks in from right here. I was going to position over here, but then I saw that camera, so I'm like, I forgot that there was a camera here, so I replaced that one, so that's fine. So each floor is going to be a camera to see anybody that's coming in the area and going up the steps on each floor, so that will capture each one. And I think that is about it. Man, that was a journey. And again, I want to thank my boy Mike for helping me out. This was a monumental task that we got a lot of stuff done in 5 days. So excited about when Pastor Felicia gets back, able to see all the progress that was done. Happy about that. And then I don't know when we'll be back. I know it's probably going to be 2 more trips. One is going to be just to finish the locks after I do some research on what type of locks are needed to get that stuff done. And I'm just labeling this so I know which one this is. That's west, first floor. And I will hook that back up because I'm leaving everything plugged in because I want to make sure that I have enough power being provided by these PoE switches for all this stuff. So that's good. I don't need a key fob here because I have access to the system and I have my code in here. So I'll leave that. There's a note for Amy. Left the keys up there for Amy. They told me to hold on to the church key for when I come back. I need to do some research on some type of locks that I could use for those double doors. But those are all the supplies we done went through this week. So we added a total of maybe 120 Unifi devices, 34 cameras, 20 door locks, a bunch of racks. We did a bunch of stuff. I'm just trying to make sure I got everything. Got the key on my finger. And I think that's about it. So again, First United Methodist Church, thank you so much for trusting me to come and get this stuff and get y'all modernized. And this is the biggest Unifi install I have. And literally outside of EV chargers, we did everything here. Like I didn't show it because we did it originally here. And it's off because they're doing maintenance in the front. They also have digital signage, so they're doing that as well too. So they have everything that Unifi offers except for the amps, the speaker sound system, and EV chargers. So if you ever had any questions or want an example of what you can do at your church, with this. This is an example of it. And maybe when I get back to my room or when I get home, because I'm tired, I'll show kind of like the overview of everything, of just a snapshot of what the console looks like with everything in place. But let's get back to the hotel room, crash, sleep, 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 then get up and then head over to the airport and head back home to Richmond. So, hey, good morning, folks. AJ here. It's actually Sunday. I got a couple of hours before I got to head to the airport, but I was doing some research, and when I came back, I found the junction box that goes to the door out here. Let me spin you around. So this is a 24 volt power supply that's powers the door mechanism outside. On this west door. So I had to dig through the manual and know how to wire this appropriately. So the black power cable goes directly to the hub, which goes to the door. The white cable from the door will act as the red, and that's what will go directly into the hub, and this allows it to go. So one thing is, and it also, this orange cable is plugged it up into power because the hubs they provide 12 volt power, not 24. So here I got this matched up right here. So let's watch the door here for a second. Let me zoom out here. I'm gonna put my code in. So it is, see, as you see, it moves, but I don't think it's actually, I don't know if the mechanism in here is dead or if the power supply, I'm not 100% sure, but we are getting it to move, and that is because of the connections, and those were the cables that we looked at from here. One of them is going to a camera, but I have no idea where that cable is. But anyway, we do have it engaged, so we're a step closer. And I'm wondering if I got this backwards. But anyway, I need to hammer those in. I have those holes made for when I get another angled mount, so that will go outside the same way. Gonna drill in right there, come through this way to get the wire there. Hold on. That's backwards. Hold on, maybe that works. Hold on a second. All right, so most likely what's gonna happen, well, two things. I should be able to, the box that's down here, I should be able to run the two Ethernet cables out there that will go, actually no, I just need to run one Ethernet cable out there that will go to the intercom. So that path is easy, so I don't have to worry about here. This side, I still would need to run one, so the security camera will be maybe like right here against this wall, so you can see who's coming in here and who's going upstairs. So that's fine. I disconnected the power off of that, so I need to find out. I hope I don't need to get the whole thing, because I know Unifi sells one of these crash bars. Should just be able to pull this off and put that in, but we're gonna do some research on that first. Make sure the doors are secure. I just need to update my notes for everybody on where it stands with everything. And I think to come in and get these last minute things done, I think I did pretty good. So, like I said, update them, do some research on the crash bar for from Ubiquiti. Get a corner mount, $50. Drill the hole there for that Ethernet cable, and now that I have a much clearer path, that will be super easy to do. Just mimic the exact same way it was done on the other door. I'm gonna hook up all the cameras over here so everything is still working. I had one more extra camera that I completely forgot about, so I hooked that up. I'm gonna get that hooked up to the system. And then start getting an idea of where all these cables are gonna go. The good thing with this is more cable than I need, because now all I really have to worry about is the exit right here, and then the magnet one here. So all the extra cable I pulled up there is not needed now. So yay. Because I thought I was gonna have to run all the way down there, but I don't have to worry about that at all. Let me get my tools and my laptop, because we don't want to leave that here. And I think that is it. Let me take it, because I think I realized when I was doing the video and I didn't edit it, I didn't show you what we did in the sanctuary too. So let me go do that, and I need to get the hammer to knock in those stoppers, and then return the car, head to the airport. Alrighty, so I was able to get back here, patch that up. All the cables are pushed in there, and I do have it tied off to a pull string, so I can pull those back up if need be. Left Amy an updated note, get my tools, and then let's turn these lights off. Then I'll show you the sanctuary, and then walk my way back and make sure all the lights are off, and then that's it. All right, so in here, like I said, we have the rack there, so we got plenty of other jacks. We're gonna have the last two jacks over there are gonna go to the front cameras that need to be terminated in here, and then gonna run five jacks up to the media area that's right above me for the ATEM, the PoE switch, the new computer that I built them last time I was here, another backup, and then a fifth one for their version of the phone that's going to live up there. And I think that's it. Let me turn the lights off, and let's head back to the airport. All right, folks, so I have been trying to catch up in my sleep, which has been pretty much non-existent. That trip, it drained me, so my apologies on taking so long to post the last part of this video. And I know the video was extra long, but I wanted to show you kind of everything else, because we got the phones activated and all this other stuff. So I kind of wanted to show you what that is and close out this video properly. All right, so this is First United Methodist Church, the UDM Pro, and they have an NVR. So we have apps running on the NVR, which will be Access and Protect, but the telephone is actually running, and the network and Connect is actually running on the UDM Pro. So coming over here to the topology map, you can see that we added a whole bunch of stuff. And if we went to our devices, as you can see, we have a total of 76 devices here. Again, because we were using the existing cables, we only have a 10 gigabit connection between the NVR as well as the 48 port switch. The other cables, we used some existing Cat 60 we found inside the walls, because it would have been too much of a pain to run through everything through the walls and stuff like that. We might revisit that. But right now, this is going to give them a much stabler connection, because I saw a bunch of loopbacks inside of their switches and their configurations. So in a loopback, what ended up happening is, instead of a cable coming from a switch going to the device, because of all the mesh of cables, one of the cables was going from a switch right back into the switch, and it caused the loopback. I found a couple of those. So that's probably why the internet was going down a couple of times before we started adding all the stuff. This was just the remnants downstairs that we had been bypassing. But as I was trying to identify cables for the cameras, that's what showed up. But anyway, as you can see, we have our UDM Pro. We got a 48 port switch, 24 port switch. Again, probably going to add another 48, two 16s. One of these is in the media, in the audio room, the sanctuary, and then the basement. This one is probably going to get moved over to the east wing. I believe Pastor Felicia responded about maybe adding Wi-Fi throughout the entire building so that all of the other clients and tenants that are renting space, they don't have to pay for their own internet. The church will provide it. We got our 2 flexes that are going to sit outside on the roof in waterproof cases. We got 5 access points. We're probably going to add 2 more for the east wing, first floor and second. Well, no, not east wing, second floor, and then another one possibly in that rec area where we were doing the pipe and everything. I believe that's like a little gym area. We got our 10 phones. We got the NVR. We got 35 cameras set up. We haven't named them because they are not in their final place, but a lot of the turrets are going to be the hallway. I mean, are going to be the hallways and stuff like that. So if we count them, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6 here. 7, 8. So we have a total of 8. So worst case scenario, the turrets are going to go inside of the hallways. So that's going to be 3. That's going to be on the east. On the second floor west. That's 3 right there. Actually, 2, because 1 is already there. So that gives us a total of 6 cameras left. We can put those in. We need 1 downstairs in the basement for the front of the church. That's 2. That gives us 4 cameras. Put another 2 on the top floor. That gives us 2 left. And then another 2 in the basement. And then the rest of them are going to be bullet cameras. Actually, and I messed up. There's another 2 right there. So we have a total of 10 left. So we should have enough to do in the stairwells. Because we need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 exactly are going to be in the stairwell. But we still have some bullet cameras, so I'll probably mix them up. Maybe put the bullets in the stairwells and then put the turrets in the hallways. But anyway, and then we have a bunch of door accesses that are going to cover every single door that we talked about. So we got 2 for upstairs west, 2 for east, the conference room, and main office, the sanctuary. So we are good to go. 2 viewports. 1 is at Amy's desk. The other one is going to be, I think, in a security room or somewhere else. The cable modem. Now that everything is over, we'll migrate that over there. And that's there. So now if we go over to the telephones, I will blur this out. The phone has been activated. All the phones have been ported over. So if we look at our numbers, all the numbers have been there. I assigned the main one. We have to go over and get the billing over for Amy. So I don't get billed for their stuff because I activated it and they refunded me that. And then we got to assign this. I need to get an adapter, an analog adapter, and assign whichever is the appropriate phone over to the phone that's in the elevator. And then we assign each one of them to whichever one. Started building out the call manager so that when they're in off hours, it goes to administration voicemail. And then we set up the, press 1 for the main office, blah, blah, blah. And then you can dial in numbers for extensions for everybody. And then the Connect display, that's what's on that front TV in the narthex. It's actually offline right now while the TV was covered up and things like that, but that is there. So that is the UDM Pro. If I come over here to the NVR, as you can see, this is live and lights are up already. The sun is up, that is. We're going to go through and set up the rest of these. Like I said, 34 cameras. One of them is offline. I guess I forgot to plug one of them in before I left. And we need to replace these drives with 4 10 to 12 terabyte drives. And I have a lot of them turned off right now just to save in storage, because I mean they're in the closet, so they don't really need to be active recording anything. I only have everything that's live where people are in right now. And then we have the door access. All of these doors will be activated soon, but the main two doors right here, the west door is the one that we have to do the lock, and I think I've identified how to fix that one. Then we got the card readers, the devices, all the doors. This is where we'll go through and name them appropriately and assign them. What else? We have visitors. We got the inventory of cards where I said we assigned them. It looks like Amy has already used hers, so that's cool. But we got the key fobs and all the cards identified for them. And I think that is about it. So this is a heck of an install, a complete Unifi one, again, except for the speaker amps, the bullhorn that was just announced, but I saw a place where that might be used. But then, and also EV chargers. But wow, it was a lot. Love playing with all the stuff, because most of the time I rarely have an opportunity to do any stuff like this. But that's mainly about it. I'm going to see if we can get back in September. That's going to be dependent on them. I am going to be in New Jersey the week of the 15th to work on something of a church that I visited there, to install some cameras and some other stuff and hang over with them Sunday. Might catch up with my friend Sonia. She's in the area. Catch up with her and her family and everybody like that if they're in town. But then that's what I do know what's going on. It is actually August 12th, and I'm getting ready to head over to install that access point that I had left over, because I actually ordered one, but then somebody stole it from my porch. So I'm glad I brought that extra access point back from Chicago, because I would have been out of luck with this install. But anyway, I'm not even going to dare link everything, because that would take up the entire page. But if you ever need any assistance, know that you can go to ajhomes.com/consultations. We can set up a consultation, phone, Zoom, on-site, all this other stuff to help modernize your media ministry, not just for your media ministry, but we also do like this. This was a foundation for the media ministry for the internet, but we can do a consultation on if you want to upgrade with your security cameras and unify your whole church with high-end but low-cost networking equipment to bring everything up to date at your church. But use this as a case study. Show this to, if you have your trustees or your church, what they were able to accomplish. And I'm sure when Pastor Felicia gets back and they've used this, she would have no issue, or anybody there, to talk about. Maybe I'll revisit this in about like 6 months to see how they've been using with the system and everything like that for y'all. But I think that's about it. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell, that way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.